The refs, they say they'll be more strict when it comes to the Tush Push. Why doesn't it matter? Because the Eagles have perfected the dumbest play in football, and they'll still convert every 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situation. Welcome to week 3 of the Schultz Report Weekend Guide presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. I'm your host, NFL insider Jordan Schultz. We have a monster slate ahead, some big-time games, some quarterbacks out, some quarterbacks that need to prove things. And let's start with that position. Here are my headlines for the week by the numbers, beginning with the number 5. That's how many starting quarterbacks will not be playing in week 3. J.J. McCarthy, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy, and Jaden Daniels. Now, I want to start with Minnesota and Cincinnati. Obviously, the Vikings coming off a disastrous week 2 loss to Atlanta. They now host the Bengals, who have Jake Browning. One thing about Jake Browning, he will push the ball down the field. You know, sometimes you get a backup who just wants to manage the game. Jake Browning's not that guy. He will take shots. He doesn't have the strongest arm like Burrow, but he's not afraid to sling it. You saw that with T. Higgins. Actually expect, as a result, Higgins and Chase to both have big days. In Minnesota with Carson Wentz, to me, this is a running game. You don't have Aaron Jones, which is also key, but Jordan Mason has been a very effective number 2. So I think Minnesota keeps the ball on the ground. And another thing about the Bengals, too, they still really haven't gotten their star running back, Chase Brown, involved. So this, to me, is more of a ground game. I expect a lot of play action from the Bengals, but I really like Cincinnati in the road upset over Minnesota. And when it comes to Jaden Daniels, folks, he has dealt with heavy pressure through 2 games, which ultimately led to the knee sprain. And here's the bottom line. The team, the organization is being extra cautious, not wanting to make any sort of RG3 type of mistake. That's something that's been mentioned repeatedly in the building. As a result, Marcus Mariota is going to start, and the Commanders are experimenting with an offensive line change. I mean, the bottom line is the right side has been a major concern through the first 2 weeks, and something has to change. As I reported yesterday, Nick Allegretti, their 3-time Super Bowl champ who signed a 3-year, $16 million deal before the 2024 season, he's actually going to be benched in favor of Andrew Wiley. And eventually, I believe Washington's going to figure it out. I just don't think it's going to be this weekend. The Raiders, to me, have a pivotal week 3 matchup because as good as they look week 1, they looked that poor week 2. And to me, Geno Smith is going to get this thing right. I also think there's a revenge factor for Mariota. So just something to monitor moving forward, the Commanders' right side of their line. Our next number, 0, the big goose egg. The Eagles are the first team since 2010 to start a season 2-0 without a passing touchdown. That's a pretty crazy stat. We haven't really seen Philly's offense kicking into high gear the way it was throughout the postseason. Jalen Hurts hasn't been asked to do a ton yet. I want to see him push the ball down the field. We had A.J. Brown on the show after week 1. It's only a matter of time before he really gets cooking. Perennial All-Pro, not to mention Devontae Smith. And the real key for me is Saquon Barkley because he's been really good. He hasn't had quite the explosive plays yet. That's only a matter of time. He is elite across the board. We all know that. And at some point in time, he's going to go for 220 all-purpose and 3 tugs. That might be week 3, might be week 5, but he is simply sensational. And I want to see him get the ball, not only running, but catching the ball as well. And finally, the number 2.5%. That is the percentage of 0-3 teams that have made the playoffs since 1990. It is almost impossible. And the reason I bring that up, the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2. They're not going to go 0-3. Big time get right opportunity. Week 3, Sunday night, right here in New York City or the Meadowlands. Sunday Night Football. And Patrick Mahomes is going to come out with a vengeance. This is an Andy Reid screw you game. Steve Spagnuolo, I expect a monster Kansas City performance. But that's the real percentage, 2.5. You do not want to go 0-3 to begin a season. And now for some right or maybe wrong predictions, maybe a little outlandish, but not too much because Drake London, the Falcons' #1 go-to weapon, is about to explode. Carolina 0-2 has not shown enough life for me to think they're going to be able to stop Mr. London. And you saw the type of performance Atlanta had week 2 against the Vikings. That's not going to be a repeat performance by Michael Penix or by London. I'm going to go 100 yards and a touchdown for Drake. And then my second bold prediction, I got T. Higgins, 100 100 yards, 2 tugs against Minnesota. You saw the connection he has with Jake Browning on that deep, nearly 50-yard bomb last week against the Jags. T. Higgins, one of the premier 50-50 ball deep shot dudes in the league. Jake Browning, as we said earlier, going to take a ton of shots. Not only Jamar Chase, but T. Higgins, 100 yards, 2 tugs against the Vikes. Next up, here are the 3 games I want to highlight this week and why, beginning with Rams at Eagles. Now, if you go back to the playoffs last year, the Rams were basically a play away at Philly to go to the NFC Championship. Who knows what would have happened? Matthew Stafford has looked really good, as has Puka Nacua, but you know who's impressed me the most? Devontae Adams. We had him on our show with Draymond Green to begin the season. Maybe we gave him some good juju because he ranks number 1 in the NFL right now in deep balls in terms of wide receivers. Nobody has been better. You don't really think of a 33, 34-year-old Devontae as a deep ball guy, but he's been awesome down the field, creating big plays for this offense. Philadelphia, as we mentioned, hasn't quite been the explosive offense we wanted to see, expected to see. Can't wait for this one at the Link. Next up, maybe the best game of the day, Detroit at Baltimore. Now, traditionally, Jared Goff has struggled against the Ravens. You know he wants to get right against Baltimore. Also, Detroit really answered the Week 1 wake-up call with a Week 2 performance. 50-burger against the Bears. They were awesome. I thought that offense looked as good as it ever has, including under Ben Johnson. Isaac Tesla is going to be on the show Tuesday. Can't wait for that. He makes a big play or two every week, it seems. Can't wait to see what he does against Baltimore, and really just want to see the Detroit offense against maybe the best secondary in football, certainly one of them, although no Marlon Humphrey. Keep an eye on that one. My final must-watch game, Broncos at Chargers. Now, the Chargers have looked as good as anyone, 2-0, and they want to go 3-0. There's going to be a lot of Denver fans at this game, you know that. But I'm still not sure what the Broncos are, who the Broncos are. I really love this team to begin this season. I still think they can get to where they want to be. But defensively, haven't been as dominant as I thought they would. And then offensively, Bo Nix, little Jekyll and Hyde. They don't have Evan Ingram in this one, so this is going to be a tough game for Denver. And the Chargers, meanwhile, if they go 3-0, they're really sitting pretty atop the AFC West. This should be a fantastic game in Southern California. Football's unpredictable, but there's always a few guarantees. Some team will punt on 4th and inches to everyone's disappointment, guaranteed. A ref will blow a pass interference call, guaranteed. Here's another guarantee. Fanatics Sportsbook has the best offer this football season. Every single football game day until October with Fanatics Sportsbook, if your football bet loses, new customers get up to $100 back in fan cash and can also bet $10 to get $100 in fan cash. No one likes losing, but with Fanatics, you're still winning fan cash. Make the switch and download Fanatics Sportsbook, where every game day comes with a guarantee. Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app. And now for my favorite part of the show. Bets that I shouldn't make, but F it. Let's try it anyway. The Chicago Bears +1, a live dog at Soldier Field at home against the visiting Cowboys. The problem for me in this game, my biggest concern is Chicago's defense has been a sieve, and Dallas's offense with Dak Prescott has been really good. But I do like Chicago. I just don't see Ben Johnson going 0-3 to begin his head coaching tenure. Next up, we got a super LSU WRU parlay. We got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr., all scoring touchdowns. It's almost plus 2,800. Have some fun. Put a little on it. See what happens. Then we got an Ohio State parlay, wide receiver U. Who knows? Emeka Ibuka was awesome on the show this week. We got him, JSN, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Garrett Wilson, all scoring tugs. This one, plus 41.35, an absolute monster return. You know, who knows? This is a week 3, usually an opportunity to beat the books. Why not have some fun with some wide receiver U parlays? And lastly, here are some things that don't matter in my parting thoughts for week 3. The Kansas City Chiefs 0-2 doesn't matter. Book it. They will win Sunday night against the Giants. Also, Eagles, 31st in passing yards. They really haven't asked Jalen Hurts to do a whole lot offensively, especially in terms of the big plays that we're so used to seeing. Eventually, I don't know if it's this week, but soon enough, Philly will throw the ball down the field. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith will get right. 31st in passing yards does not matter when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. And lastly, this one hurts. The refs, they say they'll be more strict when it comes to the tush push. That doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because the Eagles have perfected the dumbest play in football, the most absurd play to ever grace our great game in the gridiron. This is ridiculous. You know my feelings on it. But ultimately, it does not matter whatsoever that the Eagles are going to have a stricter tush push rule. They'll still figure it out, and they'll still convert every 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situation. And my actual parting thought, big prediction for Sunday Night Football, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. 42-13 over the G-Men. Chris Collinsworth, have yourself a time. All right, that's it. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching the Schultz Report Weekend Guide, Week 3 edition, presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. Good luck and happy hunting.